Hello friends, welcome Read Glow on the channel. Today we will talk about a book which reveals the secret of leadership and team success. Leaders Eat Last, Simon Sinek. The author of this book tells us that the real job of a leader is not just to give orders, but to take responsibility for the safety and well-being of his team. So, let us know how the right leadership can unite the team and lead to long-term success. If you want to understand the real meaning of leadership, then watch this video till the end. Chapter 1, Protection from Above. In this chapter, Simon Sinek explains that the biggest duty of a true leader is to make his team feel safe. When a person feels that his leader is there to keep him safe, he works with complete honesty and dedication. Conversely, when people feel insecure, such as fear of losing their job, humiliation, or distrust, they tend to protect themselves and team spirit breaks down. Simon explains through a military example how senior officers in the Army are not the first, but eat food at last and serve their soldiers first. It is a symbol that a good leader cares about his people first. That is why the book has also been named Leaders Eat Last. The same truth applies in the corporate world. A leader who only focuses on profits and numbers but doesn't care about the emotions, safety, and needs of his team, he is bound to fail in the long run. The main message of this chapter is, leaders are not responsible for results, but for the people who drive the results. When a leader cares about his or her people, they work wholeheartedly, without fear, and that's the foundation of a successful organization. Chapter 2, Employees are people too. In this chapter, Simon Sinek emphasizes that employees are not just a resource, but human beings with feelings, needs, and expectations. Many companies send their employees profit-generating machines. They treat them like investors. That is, they pay only as much value as they earn. But good leader knows that employees need respect, care, and trust. Simon explains that when employees feel they are just a cost, they do not feel connected to the company. They feel isolated and unsafe. When an organization takes care of its people, employees are not only loyal, but also support the company in difficult times. The author explains through some examples how some companies, in difficult economic conditions, reduce wages rather than fire their employees or face difficulties altogether. This one example of leadership is where everyone supports each other like a family. The gist of this chapter is that when you treat people like human beings, they do amazing things. A true leader should consider his employees not just numbers, but a responsibility and a valuable part. When a person gets respect and security, he works to his full potential. Chapter 3, The Circle of Safety. In this chapter, Simon Sinek's Circle of Safety, i.e. Circle of Protection, introduced the concept of. He says that every organization has an internal and external environment. There are many threats in the outside world, like competition, economic crisis, market changes, etc. But if employees feel afraid even within the organization, they cannot face external challenges. Circle of safety, this means that a good leader creates an environment where every member feels safe, where there is no fear, intimidation, or instability. When this circle is strong, people trust each other and work together. But when the circle is broken, everyone is left scrambling to protect themselves, and the teamwork breaks down. Simon explains that most problems arise when a leader, instead of protecting his people from external problems, sees them as a problem. That is, when the leader blames the employees or considers them replaceable. This chapter also explains that a leader should be the team's shield, blocking external threats and fostering a positive, supportive environment within. Main message of the chapter: when people feel safe inside, they can cope with uncertainty outside. Therefore, the real job of a leader is circle of safety to strengthen so that his team can move forward with confidence and self-confidence. Chapter 4, Role of Chemistry, Reality versus Chemicals. In this chapter, Simon Sinek explains that human behavior and the chemicals in our body play a big role in the decision-making process. He mentions 4 main chemicals, which he calls happy chemicals. 1. Endorphins. It helps reduce pain and increase pleasure. When we do any difficult work or exercise, this chemical makes us tolerant. 2. Dopamine. It motivates us towards a goal. When we achieve a goal or get closer to a goal, this chemical gives us a feeling of pleasure. 3. Serotonin. It is associated with social recognition and a sense of pride. When we receive respect or serve others, this chemical is activated. 4. Oxytocin. It increases the feeling of trust, belongingness, and love. When we feel connected to someone, like a hug, a helping hand, this chemical is released. The author explains that a good leader creates such an environment within his team that serotonin and oxytocin, like more positive chemicals, are produced. Due to this, team members trust each other more and work together. But if an organization only dopamine, achievement race, and ignores human connection, there increases stress, competition, and alienation. Chapter summary. True leaders are those who treat people as people, full of emotions and chemicals, not just machines doing work. Chapter 5. The purpose of leadership. In this chapter, Simon Sinek explains that the purpose of leadership is not merely to give direction or give orders, but rather to create an environment in which people feel safe, inspired, and connected. The author says that nature has given us the feeling of leadership so that we can survive by living in groups. Humans are social creatures, and we have evolved to prefer being with people we can trust. A good leader becomes a symbol of that trust. Simon also points out that when a leader works for his own benefit and ignores his team, he becomes not a leader but a ruler. This creates an atmosphere of fear and insecurity. Conversely, when a leader makes sacrifices for his team, cares about them, and gives them opportunities to grow, the entire team works with dedication to their leader. The author also emphasizes that leadership is often misunderstood in today's corporate world. People consider position or title as leadership, but a true leader is one who wins the trust of others through his deeds. Basic message of the chapter. Leadership is not a right, but a responsibility. The responsibility to protect, inspire, and advance others. A true leader is identified by the security and satisfaction of the people working under him. Chapter 6. The economics of trust. In this chapter, Simon Sinek explains that faith, it is a force that forms the foundation of stability and success of any organization. He explained that unless an organization can build trust among its employees, that organization cannot achieve long-term success. Simon gave the example that exchange of money in business, it happens. Just like that exchange of trust, it also happens. When a leader shows confidence in his team, the team also supports that leader to the best of its ability. This exchange of trust, just like money, is beneficial to both parties. If there's a lack of trust in a company or organization, it faces conflicts and dissatisfaction because people cannot trust each other. Simon also points out that faith one has to prove it not only by words, but also by actions. When a leader stands up for his team, understands their problems, and takes decisions for their benefit, this trust increases. Similarly, when employees feel that their leader is with them and working in their interest, they work with all their hard work and dedication. Building true trust is possible only when a leader makes his employees feel included and gives them the opportunity to feel safe. Main message of the chapter. Trust is a capital that compels us to work with each other and face difficulties. To maintain trust, the leader has to maintain coordination between his words and actions. Chapter 7. Wild habits. The courage to do the right thing. In this chapter, Simon, Sinek, explains that a true leader must courage to do the right thing there should be, especially when the decision is difficult or inconvenient. A good leader will never put the well-being of his team before his selfishness doesn't get priority to. Simon explains that the leader offers social pressure and business competition. There's a challenge to strike a balance between. But when a leader shows the courage to take the right decision in the interest of his people, the team respects him and their trust deepens. The author gives an important example where some companies' values and culture ignore them so that they can earn immediate profits. However, this proves to be harmful in the long run. Leader needs to take right decisions. Occasional inconveniences faced with consequences, such as taking drastic action or confronting disagreements. Simon Sinek says that a good leader knows that he what's right for your team and company in the long run. Sometimes that means a sacrifice. Come on, go against your personal advantage. When a leader adopts this mindset, his influence and team loyalty are unmatched. Main message of the chapter. Only the leader who has the courage to do the right thing achieves long-term success. A leader should never take decisions that are only for immediate gain. He has to build trust and culture through his actions, which is long-term. Chapter 8. Leadership in times of uncertainty. In this chapter, Simon Sinek discusses that when an organization insecurity and uncertainty passes through, then leadership role becomes even more important. At such a time, the team needs a strong belief and feeling of security. Giving requires strong leadership. Simon explains that when an organization faces a crisis, such as an economic crisis, competition, or major change, fear and confusion spread within the team. In this situation, a good leader prepares his employees mentally and makes them understand that they are not alone. It is important to give them confidence that the team will work together to face the crisis and achieve success. Simon Sinek gives an example where a company was facing a major financial crisis. Company leaders focused only on short-term gains, rather than creating an environment of trust and support among their employees. As a result, employee morale dropped and the company's situation worsened. In contrast, leaders at another company motivated their employees to move forward, supported them, and made them realize that the crisis was temporary. Because of this leadership, the company achieved long-term success. Main message of the chapter: the real work of leadership happens in times of crisis, when the leader unites his team and makes them feel safe. Therefore, it is a duty of the leader to maintain trust and positive energy among his employees during times of crisis, so that they can face any challenge together. Chapter 9, Creating a Culture of Leadership. In this chapter, Simon Sinek explains that an organization's culture leadership plays a big role in this. To build a strong and positive culture, the leader must coherent and inspirational approach is required. This culture affects the behavior of employees and their mutual relationships. Simon says that when the leader makes his team feel that their safety and well-being comes first, then a positive culture is created in the organization. A good leader ensures that employees' values of the organization and approach have clear information about. When a team knows that their leader has clear direction and purpose, they feel more engaged, dedicated, and strong field. Simon points out, for example, that when corporate culture, when honesty and transparency are promoted, the level of cooperation and trust among employees increases. Conversely, when a leader understanding culture and enforce values, if it fails, an atmosphere of panic and confusion is created in the organization. Building a positive culture long time results in, because a team morale and employee enthusiasm remains. Thus, a leader must ensure that the culture of the organization is based on the well-being and safety of employees. Main message of the chapter: organizational culture and leadership are interconnected. A leader shapes the culture, and culture is the key to success. Therefore, if a leader teaches his employees to follow the right direction and values, they remain organized and motivated, which leads to success. Chapter 10, The Role of Sacrifice in Leadership. In this chapter, Simon Sinek explains that an important aspect of leadership is sacrifice. A good leader, the well-being of your team, to rise above personal gain, own contribution gives. This means that a leader for your employees, one must be prepared to sacrifice one's personal gains and happiness. Simon says that when a leader makes a sacrifice for his people, it is their true leadership shows. In this chapter, they give an example where the leader of an organization encouraged all of his team members during difficult times. Reduce your salary to keep yourself safe of. This step instilled a sense of trust and dedication among the employees, and they faced those difficult times together. According to Simon, when the leader with his team facing similar struggles and challenges, if it does, it creates a strong, organized spirit increases. The aim of a leader is not only to take advantage of his position, but also to take advantage of his team, inspired and capable have to make. A leader needs to take the right decisions. Selfishness and personal gain rising above right action in the long run, one must have the courage to do it. This is the most important quality of leadership. Main message of the chapter: the true form of leadership is seen when the leader sacrifices personal benefits for the good of his team. To a leader's sacrifice, one must have the courage to do something, because this is what makes him a source of inspiration and confidence for his employees. Chapter 11, Unity in the Midst of Crisis. In this chapter, Simon Sinek explains that when an organization faces a crisis, its team cohesion and collective spirit, this can become an opportunity to strengthen. In times of crisis, it is a leader's duty to keep his team united and ensure that everyone feels safe and understands his role. Simon says times of crisis, the leader needs to take the right decisions in Social Security. An environment has to be created. When employees feel that their leader has their best interests in mind and stands with them despite the crisis, they work more dedicated and empowered. This confidence and togetherness propels the team toward a goal. Simon gives an important example where a company facing a big crisis had to do. Company leaders assure their employees that together we can solve every problem. This leadership move boosts employee morale and motivates them. Get out of conflicts helps. In times of such crisis, the leader's faith and approach becomes a main factor in the success of a team. Simon also points out that facing crises during the team emotional connection and togetherness can be built, which makes the organization even stronger in the future. Main message of the chapter. In times of crisis, the job of a leader is to keep his team united and make them believe that together they can face every difficulty. The real importance of leadership amidst crises comes before only when the leader makes his team feel safe and empowered so that they face the crisis unitedly. Chapter 12. The responsibility of leadership. In this chapter, Simon Sinek explains that leadership is not just a right, but it is a responsibility. The main job of a leader is to take decisions for the well-being of his team and make them feel safe, motivated, and empowered. Leaders' employees care. They should be trained and made to believe that they are not just a tool in the organization, but important members. According to Simon, when a leader sacrifices for the team and works in their best interests, so it helps the team faith and loyalty and atmosphere is created. This belief unites the team and motivates them to put in their best efforts for the organization. Simon also points out that a leader's responsibilities are not limited to just hiring and paying employees. Actually, the duty of a leader that is to motivate the team to take decisions that contribute to the long-term success of the organization, and not just for immediate gains. The purpose of true leadership is team safety and well-being to give priority to. When the leader does this, the team's dedication and cooperation increases, leading to long-term stability and success for the organization. Main message of the chapter. The true purpose of leadership is to take responsibility for the well-being and safety of your team and to make the right decisions for long-term success. The responsibility of leadership is not limited to just giving orders, but it is a responsibility of taking care of employees and providing proper guidance, thereby increasing trust and dedication in the organization. Chapter 13. Creating a safe environment. In this chapter, Simon Sinek explains that a leader's duty is not only to his team, but also to not put to work. Rather, the safe and collaborative environment have to provide. When a leader makes his team feel that they are safe, its working capacity and dedication increases. According to Simon, when employees believe that they mistakes, if your team is safe despite adopt new ideas and risk-taking are more motivated to. With this in the organization, innovation and creativity, an atmosphere is created. Simon gives an example where a company and environment of safety and cooperation took such steps to make, such as asking employees continuous communication and giving priority to their ideas. Due to this environment, the employees work with their full energy and dedication, due to which the company achieved great success. Simon explains that a leader must ensure that all team members support each other and mutual trust work on the basis of. When a leader is a safe environment creates, employees are fully invested in their work, which increases team productivity and morale. Main message of the chapter. It is the duty of a leader to make his team feel mentally and emotionally safe so that they can freely share their ideas and take risks. A safe environment motivates the team and promotes innovation, leading to long-term success for the organization. Chapter 14. The importance of trust and understanding. In this chapter, Simon Sinek explains that faith and understanding of any successful leadership base are there. When the leader assures his team that he is working in their best interests, the team works more dedicated and motivated. Trust. A strong organization's spiritual and emotional connection creates, which leads to unity and success. According to Simon, the main function of the leader is not only to give direction, but also to ensure that the team is engaged in their work. Understanding, yes. The team should have the right to know why and how the organization's decisions are taken. When employees understand a reason and objective behind the organization's decisions, they readily accept those decisions and implement them sincerely. Simon gives an example of how, when a company leader initiated regular communication with employees, and kept them informed about the organization's policies and decisions, employee morale and trust increased. As a result, the organization achieved its goals in a more effective manner. Simon says that a leader should never don't hesitate to talk to your team. The team should feel that their ideas and questions are respected and have a say in the organization. Open and transparent communication, it happens. Main message of the chapter: trust and understanding are the two most important elements of true leadership. When the team believes that the leader is working in their best interest, they support him or her fully. Therefore, the leader must communicate openly with his team and give them clear information about the organization's decisions, so that trust and cooperation can increase. Chapter 15, Selecting the Right People for Leadership. In this chapter, Simon Sinek explains that choosing the right leader, it is a major factor in the success of an organization. To a leader's special properties and capabilities must be selected with the same quality, so that he can become a source of inspiration for the team and can guide the direction of the organization in the right way. Simon says that when in the leader selection process, similar values and objectives, if it selects people keeping in mind, it will create a strong, positive culture produces. Selecting the right leader means choosing a person who not only skill and ability be equipped with, but who is part of the team for good, get ready to work. Simon gives an example where an organization selected the right leader, and that leader made his employees feel part of his team. As a result, employee morale increased and the organization high productivity and success achieved. Furthermore, Simon also points out that when leaders takes care of employees and prioritizes their well-being, the team is more enthusiastic and motivated in their work. True leadership is such safe and inspiring culture, creates an environment in which the team performs its tasks better. Main message of the chapter: selecting the right people is essential for good leadership, because a good leader influences the culture and direction of the organization. Therefore, an organization should ensure that the leader is selected based only on his skill and ability, not on the basis of, but on the basis of values, and his commitment to the well-being of the team should be done on the basis of. So guys, this was Leaders Eat Last In-Depth Analysis of. If you like this video, please like and share it, and subscribe to our channel Read Glow. Don't forget to subscribe. If you want more book summaries, hit the bell icon to get notifications of our new videos. Apart from this, if you have read this book, do share your thoughts with us in the comments. See you with the synopsis of the next book.